All right, give me a second, guys. How you guys doing? Looks like we're having some bitrate issues. Let me check the stream because I just increased it while we were live and it didn't crash. So that actually looks pretty decent. Let me crank it up a little more and see if we get this to die or keep going. Hopefully the music's not too loud. It is. Hold on. And I apologize. I don't know what happened. It's telling me my bit rate's like 2,500 kilobytes. Does that look good to you guys? What's up, Jared? What's up, Mally? What's up, Josh? Man, I think that's good. I'm gonna bump it up one more time, and we'll call it a day. I don't know why OBS reset. Fingers crossed. We're not dropping frames. The fiber's working. I think we're good. Man, I got 7 people logged in. That's looking decent. Yeah, I think we're good. If you guys can't read the charts, we're bullish. Hope that makes sense. We're gonna go into the technicalities of why we're bullish. Make sure that the stream's not dropping out. So, stream's good. Drops not frame. We're good. I think we're good. All right. What's up, dude? What's up, Mim? Black screen for you. Oh boy. Can you guys see it now? What's up, Cybro? Should be good on YouTube. Let me check YouTube. Oh boy. Jared, what's up, man? No, it's good. Should be good. Stream is about. Yeah, I sound. What's up, S? We're bullish. That's the stream. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you guys next week. So, welcome to the stream. This is Rainbow Trends weekly stream. We do it every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We go over all the charts. We go over Rainbow Theory, jokes, Twitter, news, what on earth the White House is up to. We listen to just enough music to get copyright strikes, but I don't monetize any of these streams. So if you guys see a bunch of ads on these streams, let me know because that kind of sucks. But anyway, to quote Josh, I need to come up with a better way to say it, but it's habit at this point. This stream is intended for educational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as financial advice. Even if you were to mistake this for financial advice, this is clearly an art stream with a bunch of bros who trade rainbows, may or may not trade rainbows, and have a good time. But if you have any questions, hit us up after the stream. There's always a link at the top to hit up the Discord. That's where like the OG Rainbow Trends, Rainbow Theory traders are. That's the best place to ask questions. So anyway, man, boring stream, right? We don't have a lot to talk about today. No, we got a lot to talk about today. A lot of the stuff we've been talking about actually hit. And I actually have some live footage of some bears in the market today. But before we do that, quick reminder. We did release a new tool this week. So check your inbox in TradingView. And definitely go check out. I just updated the Wikipedia tutorial. If you guys don't know how to get there, it's a tutorial link. Shocker. And you can definitely go check out the Coinbase versus Binance premium indicator. Very quick, simple write-up on how this works. In short, it's kind of what people want OBV to be. So if you kind of think of the markets like how does on-balance volume work, it's actually kind of like this, but it works. And then we have a quick little YouTube video for you guys who don't like to read. We'll be uploaded. So you guys can go check that out. But moving on. I have live footage. And I wanted to show you guys this stuff. Man, you guys are blowing up the chat. We're right up to like 177 people. This is crazy. All right, so live footage of bears trading the market this week. And I'm sorry if you're a Ford guy. I used to be a Ford guy in the 90s.
He's getting serious. Gotta take the cup out of the car.
Took the cup out of the car because he's going to go fast. It's the dude shorting the market right now.
Look, this guy wants to jump this little ass, I don't know what you call it. It's not even a berm. I said, what's the point? He said, I just want to jump my truck. So let's see how this goes.
Don't do this, by the way. Ever. Get a dune buggy, not a $100,000 SVT Ford. So you wanted to short the range again.
Oh, fuck me!
It's probably the second best one I've ever seen. There's another dude who, when the Raptors first came out, he jumped a motocross track jump, and he missed the landing by like 20, 30 feet and flat landed. And as soon as he landed, every single airbag in that thing went off. That's a default stream. All right, so prices are up, and the focus of this stream today is actually going to be how to resign from McDonald's. If you guys, it's kind of like the opposite of the applications. The difference is you're going to be doing the 2-week notice. But in all seriousness, it's time to lock in. Don't quit your day job. You want to still have that day job when the bear market hits in what, probably a year or so. So you gotta be chill. Gotta hang out with that. What's up, Damon? So where are we at? We're at an all-time high breakout. And we've been talking about this chart for a long time. And I'm going to clean it up a little bit because we spend so much time on this stuff. And I swear it's boring, but you have to know, like, these are the charts that control the market as far as, like, what the macro moves are going to do. The whales are going to range the big boy charts. And while you guys mess around with the small charts. I say small charts. I'm talking about, like, low time frame alt stuff. Yeah, Fartcoin and stuff can run. But we really need to pay attention what happens to, like, the majors. And this is where we start. We watched the previous market cycle through this for, what was it, March 2024 to November of 2024, and it was absolutely brutal. We had a yin carry trade break. We had two, like, Wyckoff creeks, which I've never seen a Wyckoff chart example with two Wyckoff charts, or two Wyckoff creeks, but we traded it and it worked. And then we got a real nice capitulation catch, which was sweet. I don't even know what the yin carry trade was at the time, but we traded the hell out of it and got a lot of nice entries in crypto, as well as Bitcoin, or as well as like Bitcoin and other crypto assets. Walked our way up, broke free, and then we went all the way up and we tagged the reversion bands and started printing our ranges into the all-time high with like a 4-drive pattern here. And we've been going sideways ever since, and we've been trying to deal with this. And frankly, this chart has been wild as can be. It's not easy, it's hard, and it's almost as if like the markets are evolving so people can't keep up. I swear a lot of the stuff that used to work last year and the year before doesn't work anymore, so it's been really fun to navigate this stuff. And that's why I always go back to like the H4. You give me the right rainbow theory like tools in H4, I'm calm as a cucumber, and I know when to panic and I know when not to. So we're here. We set this up, and this has been the range we've been talking about. This, we got a new president here. We had a new all-time high at the actual inauguration. We had the strategic crypto reserve, and then we went straight down and broke the range. And it got really, really scary. Why? This was our support order block. This was our resistance order block. And we broke right through it. And we started coming back down to the original order blocks of 2024. I was like, dude, we don't want to do this. We're too late in the 4-year cycle to start coming down. This could be, like, that could be the macro top and, like, screw everyone. Thank God we pulled back up. And it's kind of dirty, but we did get a channel walk. We did mark that up. We went all the way down here, and we almost tagged the support order blocks. We printed 3 runner bots kind of in a row. Runner bot bottom signals here on the H4, which is a really good sign. And then we pumped up. And since then, mind you, you're never going to catch the Pico bottom. If you do, you can lie about it and tell people on Twitter. That's cool. I'd say half. I'd say 90% of Twitter is like LARPing. So it's fun. Trust the guys who trade Zcash. That's what I recommend. Those dudes are not LARPing or taking paid gigs. Anyway, but yeah, we're up 56% from that Pico bottom. So it's been really cool. And it was something we watched. We saw the channel walk break. We're like, whoa, that's kind of cool. And I'm just trying to summarize a few months of stuff. So bear with me. We got huge channel walk cluster here. 4 in a row. Bam. We hit the actual support order block and we karate chopped through it. By all means, the bear should have thrown down here and we should have bounced off of it and moved back down and at least come back and do a retest. It's not the case. We popped right through it and went straight to the resistance order block. And then we started chopping. And it was like, dude, did we really just print a new all-time high that's just a few thousand more, and then we started losing the order block? Well, fake out again, and now we're moving back up. And look, just as we had whale prints forming in a cluster here, you're getting whale print clusters and whale print alerts here on the indicators. So very, very bullish, unusual whale activity being detected by the indicators, and now we're fully sending it up. And then all hell broke loose today. And we're zoomed out. It doesn't look like a big move. But, dude, we're hitting all-time highs going into price discovery. We're printing stuff that's never happened before. That little move right there was like the most fun ever, right? Let's look at it. It was only like 7%. But it was the coolest 7% trend you've ever followed. So, anywho. What's up, Phil? What's up, guys? Quick reminder. Please like, comment, subscribe. We don't monetize any of this stuff, or any of the streaming stuff. Or tutorials, so all the chatter in the Twitter, all the chatter in the YouTube helps out the algos wake up and put this on other people's front page so they can watch it live. But anyway, that's where we're at. This is awesome because long story short, you get your sideways range here, you break through it, we got to go find another range, right? Last time we did this, we broke out and we went from $73,000 and broke the nice, beautiful six-figure mark and actually went all the way up to 108K. So what does that mean? If we're leaving here, we have to go find price discovery where the bulls are going to show, or the bulls are going to show up to fight the bears, and then the bulls kind of take a break. Last time we did that, we tagged these reversion order blocks, and you see these markers here, these little squares. You can change these. This is a new upgrade to the machine learning reversion bands. I wrote this right before they started talking about AI, so I missed the bandwagon. It really does. It uses machine learning, but doesn't use AI, so I'd feel bad doing that. But you can mark your indicators here, and you can set alerts to these. So we have a lot of traders that actually take profits on these. So, and you can change these to like whatever symbol you want. You can change it to letters, ducks, whatever. It doesn't matter. So FYI, that's kind of a little reminder there. It's all in the, that's not in the thing. That's the new update. I need to do a new video about that. My bad. But, long story short, we broke up through the reversion. If you can't tell, I'm excited, guys, by the way, so I'm kind of jumping around. We got a lot to talk about. We only got like an hour and a half to do it. But, we popped up until we hit reversion bands. So, one of two things is going to happen in the event that we just start going north. You can only go north so fast for so long. The less the angle, the higher you can go before you have to do a reset, right? That's kind of how these things work. It's just kind of how whales work and how Rainbow Theory kind of works. They shot all the way into pink candles into the reversion bands, had to take a breather, took another shot, and then they started rotating and getting a little weaker. Then they finally had some pullbacks. So if we go off this same logic here, hey, where are we going? The numbers are kind of high, and I wanted to walk you guys into that because we really thought like 100K was on the table. We weren't really sure. Slammed it. Slammed the reversion bands, right? Right now, and the week's not over, and I doubt it's going to happen over the weekend, but maybe next week. Or maybe it just goes crazy tomorrow. Who knows? They're rolling out tariffs, 50% Brazil, Canada 35 right now, whatever. But right now, if we say, hey, if that's the first thing we're going to do into like a 3-drive pattern, we can take this nifty little trading view tool, and you guys can make your own little engagement post to farm likes. You can do a bars pattern, click here, draw something insanely bullish, drag it, you post it on Twitter with some hashtags, you say something fractal, you got to be a little elusive with it, and you go bam, bull market, or you say like don't FOMO, do it capo style. But long story short, that's kind of like the fractal of the previous drive before we did like the range that kind of went sideways and we just showed. But if we look at this is kind of what it would look like. And don't plan on it exactly hitting that, but it shows you like what a breakout would look like if we went up into the reversion bands, right? And it's talking about like 135 is kind of where we need to be. The bottom of this trend here, I just kind of draw this before the indicators actually like update all their algos with real-time information. You're talking like 130-ish, but really like 135 is kind of where it needs to be. But yeah, that's what we're looking at, and that's amazing. There were a lot of people short. those people got a lot of emails today. Some of the biggest liquidations we've ever seen in history, and awesome. Don't short this thing. Short all the obscure altcoins all you want. Just don't short Bitcoin. It doesn't go well. Go short like BSV or something. So where are we at? We're really good. Sure, this thing could all nuke tomorrow. Satoshi comes out as it's actually Roger Ver or Charlie Lee or something like that, and all this goes to zero, right? But from a technical standpoint, this is amazing. We're getting well prints pulling up and out of the order block. We want to go north. We want to try to tag 135, take some breathers, and go higher. Set our end of year Q4 bull run, peak out in the 4-year cycle, take some profits into some 1990s JDM cars or some beach houses, something like that. And then we get to watch Powell walk away. So Fed rates are getting cut next year. So that'll be fun. But where are we at? ETF flows are starting to matter again. If you haven't noticed, the flows have been bullish. A lot of people have been buying. Today's numbers are not even in yet. Holy crap, ARK is bringing in a $250 million. That's a lot. That's the record, actually. That's amazing. Shout out Kathy. Maybe that's a bear signal in hindsight. But we'll see. But regardless, very, very good flows coming into Bitcoin. So we got flows online. Flows... I forgot, man. I should have referenced the old Dime post, but Dime was talking about how much Bitcoin the ETFs have so far, and I think they have like 5% of the supply already. It's insane. It's mental. So shout out Dime. And shout out Bears. Byzantinian General posts this up. Holy shit, the biggest BTC shorts liquidation event in years. Oh boy. Just as Coinbase goes down during a bull run, I can't imagine the email servers at Binance and Bybit when these things start ripping. The amount of emails, man. It's crazy. And what's amazing is so many people have shorted this upper range over and over, and it just rips through every time. Not every time, but it's ripped through so many people. It's actually been kind of crazy. But to settle us a little bit, John Brown had a really cool post a while back. This is March 28th, 2024, a few years ago. Not this year, actually 1 year ago. The path towards 110K will be cumbersome. But then we will come out of the thicket and enter a fast track records towards 200K. And that's kind of when I want to get you guys into the groove right now. And I say into the groove, I want you guys to understand you're uncomfortable with the breakouts right now. Bitcoin can get really, really silly and hit some targets you guys aren't willing to even talk about right now. And when it does, you're going to get comfortable, and that's probably going to be the time to sell. And I want to walk you guys through some of this. Update on the Mayer multiple. We're talking about short-term Rainbow Theory targets of like 135 before we hit resistance. Mayer multiple right now is at $194,000 minimum before the final bull run stages start. And hell, we have seen it hit the minimum before and double. So it technically in the past, not that the past repeats itself, you could hit 194 and hit like 380. Like that's in the cards. We'll see. I'm not going to bet on that. As soon as we touch this 2.0 standard deviation of the Mayer multiple, I'm going to start I'm going to put alerts on Josh. I'm going to put alerts on Dime. I'm going to put a lot of alerts on people that I use as top signal alpha indicators just based on sentiment. And I'm really going to like pumping my brakes. I'll definitely be willing to get rid of anything that doesn't rhyme with BTC as far as alts go. I say rhyme. No, I don't want Bitcoin Cash or BSV or anything like that. I really want to get out of my alts. You're not going to catch alt perfectly. In the past, remember, King Bitcoin, go back and look at the 2017 charts. There are so many alts that peaked before this, the Bitcoin arc at 20K, and there is an ungodly amount of alts that peaked after. It's an absolute crapshoot. So when people tell you like, oh, Bitcoin's going to peak, then all the alts peak, they're out of their mind. You're going to potentially lose a lot of money. and you've come this far. It's been 4 years since the bottom, or 3 years or so since the bottom. It is not the time to fuck up the exit, because you can blow up years of work really, really fast and then cost yourself a cycle. And when I say that, like, you're gonna have to be like, the last thing that's gonna look sexy to you guys is USD or euros or whatever, gold, whatever. I'm telling you. But as a reality check, to shake some senses into you, I'm going to remind you that Wi-Fi at one point in 2021 traded for $95,000 and not everyone sold. $95,000. Bitcoin had, I don't think it had gone over $65,000 at that point, and Wi-Fi hit $95,000 per Wi-Fi. It is now trading at $5,700 while Bitcoin is at 115, 116. So keep that in mind. It's not a good look. We don't want to do this. We're getting very close towards times where we need to just like start maybe sitting on some cash, right, and getting into some exits, and it's not going to be what you're going to want to hear. So definitely click unsubscribe, hit the down vote if you don't want to take profits. But back to what our guy was talking about earlier in the stream, Nexus. This stream is actually going to be focused on Chill House, not Bitcoin, and the rest of the stream. So shout out Nexus. We're going to be really focusing on our Chill House charts. Frankly, I didn't even know there was charts on this on TradingView, and I found out today there is. But with everything, when in doubt, look for your candle rotations, even though this thing's been pink forever, and your machine learning cyan bands. There's your tops. There's your bottoms. Don't trade that stuff. I don't like it. But speaking of shitcoins and funny guys, I really think Dip Wheeler's hilarious, and I loved this post. So we're definitely going to take a look at the Fartcoin chart. Fartcoin actually has some really good numbers. It moves a lot. It reminds me of old school Popcat. As much as I want Popcat to come back. We've covered this in the past before on a lot of different streams. This is a coin that's coming way up in market cap, and the bigger you become, the slower you can move. Way back in the day, we used to full send to crazy, crazy numbers, and you can see how lit up this chart is with all those markers. Now it's a lot more chill. Sorry, bad joke. I didn't even mean to say that joke. But the point is, we're no longer hitting the cyan bands and the machine learning stuff. What we are hitting, though, is the greens, and we're pushing back into normal colors. You're actually seeing normal color rotations, full-on pink color rotations all the way back to greens, pumps, dives, and it's actually showing support. So you're starting to figure out that, like, hey, repeatability-wise, when the event does come that I get pinks in the green, that's kind of like a top. When I start pushing white candles into the red, I'm actually starting to see bottoms. On Ethereum and Bitcoin, Litecoin and Sol, those are always pretty much the rotations. But with Fartcoin, it's got so much volatility. You've got to come back and chill yourself out with it and then double check everything. You're also going to get your RSI tops here, your runner-bot tops. And right now we're actually coming into forming a likely top. So we'll see. As you can see here, it's not always the first pink candle, but typically we need to be looking for purples, fading to cyans, fading to greens. We need to watch for that. Also kind of like the HMA karate chops as a secondary thing, but we'll also probably get a top signal eventually, but it'll be a little late on this. But anyway, you're seeing buying white candles, buying pain in a reversion band, and seeing it going all the way to the other band. And you're like, it's boring. It takes a while. These things are not fast, but you're talking about 50% moves on spot. You're not going to catch 50, but you can catch a lot of that, right? So that's the goal. So anyway, moving on. I actually snuck in Chill House and Fartcoin in the first 15 minutes, so shout out my DJs. Doing a little health check. Hash rates are good. We want that to continue. If we start randomly seeing these drop off all of a sudden, and we're printing like breakout all-time highs, we got to be concerned. So it's just a health check. It's not one-to-one on everything, but typically we want the miners doing pretty good in the bull run. We want that. It's healthy. One thing that really got weird this week, and we haven't seen this in a very long time. My boy Crypto Daddy can't remember the last time I saw F doing more volume than Bitcoin on Coinbase. And this is like a day before everything went crazy today. He picked this up on Coinbase, Josh started picking up, hey, FBTC high time frames is actually looking like it's going to start attempting to flip a semi-annual reversal, at least the attempt of it. Josh also noticed that Kraken was doing more volume in Bitcoin, XRP, or Sol, which I'm kind of, if I see Kraken do it, I'm like, that's kind of interesting. If I see Kraken and Coinbase both doing more volume on Ethereum than Bitcoin, I'm going, hold up. What? And that's actually what we're seeing. The North American exchanges are showing more volume on Ethereum than Bitcoin. I believe BlackRock this week, yesterday, bought more Ethereum than they did Bitcoin. It's kind of getting crazy. In addition to that, ETH shorts are at the second highest ever recorded level, and these dudes are getting rinsed. So when in doubt, go back and check out CoinMarketCap. So I was like, surely worldwide, Ethereum's not trading more than Bitcoin, and it's not. The overall volume is not. It's about a third of what Bitcoin is. But what it's telling you is North American exchanges are very hungry for Ethereum, way more than Asia right now. And we've kind of noticed that when Coinbase wants something and wants to pay a premium for it, that's why we dropped the new tool. We tend to get bull runs. So tell your friends, when Sailor's bullish on certain things and they're willing to pay extra than what it would cost on Binance, the markets tend to move up and stay up. So another thing, we used to get like BS numbers on Ethereum flows. We're actually seeing like 50 million a day, 85 million a day. This is a lot for Ethereum. These used to be dry as a bone. Also kind of a shout out, Farside's also tracking Solana. These numbers aren't doing so great yet, but it's there. So it's kind of cool that it's trading. So moving on. Ethereum. This has been my favorite chart. Why? It's been the most painful. I was born in the pain, molded by it. No. This has been the easiest chart to read. I'm very excited, so the jokes are going to be really bad today, so just fair warning. But we don't charge for these streams, so I don't care about the copyright strikes. I've already been permanently banned from Twitch before, so that's all good. But moving on. Here we are, log. This was ridiculous. This was a huge drawdown. I've got RSIs. I need to clean this up. I'm gonna pull the RSI off. As much as I love the RSI bot, it's a little noisy for the streaming. I typically prefer the runner bot for streaming. So this channel walker broke. This was an easier chart to trade than it was Bitcoin because we were waiting for the break, and until the break, we weren't really bullish. Well, we got the damn break, right? And it's been awesome. And as much as we want to talk about what Ethereum's done in the past 12 months, in the past few months, compared to Bitcoin, over the past year, Bitcoin's up like 100% in 12 months. Ethereum, I think, is up like 2%. But the channel walker break, which we've been watching, this isn't hindsight. Go check the transcripts. We got bullish back on this thing in April when we saw it. And there were very few traders talking about this. And then lo and behold, all the big six-figure accounts start talking about it. It gets interesting. We are up 78% from the channel break. If you're talking about the Pico bottom, which you're not going to trade. Actually, I take that back. If you're going to trade the Pico bottom, that's when you probably really sell. Just keep that in mind. The guys who tell you the screenshots after the fact, they're the ones that LARP. But we're up 115%, right? And where Rainbow Theory got really, really excited is we saw the break. We saw the retest here. We saw kind of a BART forming, and it fully invalidated, and volume woke up. Big time woke up here. If we take a look at the Coinbase indicator, the new one, we're going to switch this to Ethereum. We're going to leave the smoothest filter at 10. We're going to move this up because I had it combined with the split volume chart, since this is going to take a little while to move it. So shout out TradingView, because I have to get this way done. The thing you'll notice as it comes into light, when it's yellow, that's when there's a Binance premium. When there's Binance premiums, we normally are going downward. When we have Coinbase premiums, we tend to go way north. And since that channel break, we've really stayed Coinbase premium. And today it woke up again, and we actually tagged $3,000. And we watched this break up, got super, super bullish. We saw pink candles, which is amazing. We saw all this stuff. right? But you've seen every Rainbow Theory like tutorial on BART 101. This was identified as a BART. And we're like, dude, my gut says this wants to go north. My tools are saying it needs to go south. And it ended up doing kind of both. And it's been really, really interesting because I was talking with Zen about this today in the Discord. It technically reset. Typically, a full run on a BART, you come back to the base of the hairline right here where the hairline formed. And that would have at least been like 1800. And that didn't happen. And normally it kind of takes a while and it bleeds and it takes some time to get there. It normally just doesn't capitulate down really, really fast. But it wicked really violently. And it just barely almost tagged the reversion band here. And it hit the liquidity order block from the previous ranges way back over here. Which is, it's a huge old order block with a bunch of data on it that I've got marked up. So I was sitting there talking to Zen. I was like, man, it kind of, you could argue that's the BART reset. It doesn't look textbook, but I think technically they reset it there. And lo and behold, today, we actually broke through, did I just delete my candles? There we go. Sorry. I'm blind without them, dude. This is, a lot of people think it's a gimmick. I'm blind without it. This is, we're through the order block. We have a mid-range order block. And this was also the BART hairline. We're above the BART hairline. And I cannot stress this enough. We've been talking about this for weeks and weeks now. If we invalidate this BART, I can't get any more bullish on Ethereum. And if I'm bullish on Ethereum and saying, hey, we're probably going to go back up to the 4K range, I'm bullish anything with a ticker at that point. I don't care what it is. Bitcoin can move up and alts don't. We've seen that time and time again for a long time. That's totally a thing. The one thing you can't do, though, is have Ethereum go from 1800, break through a BART, work its way up to 4K, and not cause alt season. I don't think that's possible. So we're setting up for the actual alt season you guys have been wanting to get into. Everyone's been wanting to buy alts. That's all they care about. They don't want to buy Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin's the one that just keeps going up. Nobody wants to talk about the Bitcoin charts, except like the high time frame cloud bros. You know who you are. But as much as you and that's the other thing. You can hate Ethereum, you can hate Vitalik, you can hate this as much as you want. But by God, if Ethereum starts going from 2800 and works its way up to 4K, you're going to get your crazy soul run. You're going to get your chill house. You're going to get your fart coin runs. You're even going to get your Litecoin, Cardano, XRP runs. Like, we want this bad. Now, with that being said, we broke through this hairline and we went straight. These candles were pink before they closed. That is white RSI, and we're tagging the reversion band. So just like Bitcoin, this thing may bounce a little bit, pull sideways, let these drift up, and then start working again. We could see that. Or we might actually see a retest off those. We don't know yet. Regardless, we've got a H4 closed above this order block, and I am super bullish because this is what my heartstrings have been pulling me towards. I want to see this. Because if F does good, everything does good. Everything goes with it. They don't care. Alts risk on, and it goes crazy. Now, another kind of cool thing. They've started to post the strategic ETH reserve. And these dudes are just bullish as can be. The guys with the bats, their ultrasound money, right? Shout out Ace for coming for your 527 tonight. Retweet, tell your friends, hop on. Let's chat, and let's talk charts. The reason I bring this up, it's just a super bullish, whatever, right? I haven't seen this type of tracker yet, right? I'm kind of aware of what the Bitcoin stuff is as far as like reserves and all that type of stuff. I'm also kind of aware of which big companies are buying Bitcoin, which are buying ETH. There's nothing too crazy, and we always like assume, hey, the ETH Foundation sucks. All they do is sell. They don't even stake their own Ethereum. Blah 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 blah. Why I wanted to point this out just like we tracked Grayscale bleeding out into the other into the other ETFs with the lower fees, the Ethereum Foundation has way less Ethereum than I thought they did. I don't know about you. My assumption was if the Ethereum Foundation had way more than 244,000 Ethereum. And I get it. That's a F ton of money. That's $677 million. My point is, I thought they had billions worth of USD dollars worth, not billions of F. I thought they had way, way more, and they don't. So this is kind of cool. Sharplink Gaming's actually nipping at their heels, and they're buying. So we might actually see the Ethereum Foundation fade into this list and become less and less relevant, which is cool because every time there's a freaking pump, Ethereum dumps thousands of Bitcoin. And it sucks. It's like, dude, you guys are only hitting the red button on your own coin. Like, dude, like, do something. Like, that's not cool, right? So, kind of a cool way to take this. He's just being bullish as can be here, whatever. I like to see the Ethereum Foundation fading. I think that's kind of cool. Which is counterintuitive, but, like, they're not helping price. They let Vitalik sing way too many songs, especially on stage and with cameras around. But let's check ourselves. We've looked at a lot of bullish Ethereum stuff. Arthur Hayes had to come in and call out Ethereum to $10,000 and ruin the show. This scares the crap out of me. He's even got the Yahtzee, the emojis, and the fact that he's calling out for 10,000. He may ruin it. He may win. We'll see. What's up, RJ? Arthur scares me sometimes because a lot of the stuff he wants or he talks about just goes crazy. But as is tradition, and I saw this pop up right when I was getting ready to stream. As we speak, about an hour ago, with Ethereum hitting $3,000, a wallet linked to the Ethereum Foundation sold 1,200 Ethereum for $3.5 million. At an average of $28.90 over the past 6 hours. So, congratulations, round of applause. Ethereum Foundation continues to fade into the existence. So, anyway, we're going to take a breather. We're going to take a little step from crypto. We're going to talk AI. And Elon is super. Well, they had a bit of an incident with the Grok going a bit off script. And then they released Super Grok. And this is apparently Grok 4 can do audio prompted videos, which is really cool. And I see all these people posting all these really, really cool things Grok can do. So I log in and I was like, hey, Grok 4, can you take the Sam Altman photo and put the old school Oakley wrapped sunglasses on him? And this is what I got. So glasses on glasses. A hand on the OG glasses. I don't know. And I even came back and said, hey, take the original photo, put these glasses on them. And that's as close as I got to the Sam Altman photo. That one is, quite frankly, very creepy. But this is just continues to be the continued trend with people talking about AI and AGI and all these crazy things. And I'm like, hey, take the funny photo of Sam Altman and put the Oakley glasses on him. And I get this, and I'm just like, okay, well, awesome. But anyway, moving on. Cool things in crypto. Put alerts on 9K, just life hack. USDC is coming to the Say network. If you guys don't know, Say's actually got the throughput through the absolute friggin' roof that could actually do stablecoin calculations and transactions for like a worldwide network using stables. Circle's actually a big investor in them from way back in the day, and now we have actual USDC integrated into it, so it's actually big. And you actually saw like a Say pump this week. It was pretty cool. Say waking up, bouncing off an order block, bottom signal here, but really look, do you see the volume? It's been pretty cool. We've been down for a while. Remind you, this thing hit like, oops, I just put that tool on volume. Say actually hit a little over $1. This was like when Playmaker famously called the top and then it all faded into existence. Went all the way down to like 13 cents. A hell of a pullback. But she's starting to wake back up. I'm a big believer in Say because I'm in it for the tech, damn it. The tech's actually cool. It's one of the fastest crypto chains I've ever interacted with, to be honest with you. We used to joke with some of my friends. We would pay each other with it, and like before they could even check, it was already like done. It'd already be on their phone, like, oh yeah, received, fully checked out. I was like, dude, that's nuts. It's like as fast as a text message, and it's like confirmed. But we're actually starting to see really big volume. USDC is integrated. That's a big deal. USDC is a nod to Coinbase backed. So say what you will, we'll see. It's waking up, and these runs are actually pretty nice. So I'm going to moonbag Say. Hopefully we go back above $1, but that's 113. We get way back up to like all-time highs. It's still like a 2.5 run. So that's, let's see, 2.5, like 250%. It's going to be a bit. But the long story short is it's pumping, and there's volume here, which some alts can't say. So we're talking degen, we're talking distributions, we're talking accumulation. We need to talk Robinhood, because Robinhood today, I believe this was today. Would you like to? Yeah. Staking is now available on Ethereum and Sol, which I need to kind of get a sentiment, like you and I and everyone else who like messes with crypto. For the most, I'd say anybody on crypto Twitter is aware of staking. I need to ask some parents, I guess, if they know what it is, but it's pretty cool that you can do staking on Robinhood. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. And you can stake as little as $1. Remember, Ethereum staking way back in the day, you had to have 32 ETH, and when ETH was like $4,000 a pop, that kind of was a big entry. So it's kind of interesting. Ethereum's popping, Robinhood's anti-staking. The ETFs, I think, are coming with actual staking. It's looking kind of cool. Solana, another easy chart to read. It's been kind of a dead chart, but it's been the easy chart to read. I'll be damned, we got a golden pocket. I didn't realize that on the daily. That's cool. I'm going to have to tell ISO. Shout out Crypto ISO. He's been killing the bluefin tuna. Biggest tuna I've ever caught. It's probably 10 pounds. They're catching like 300-pound ones. So very jealous we can't tell. But back to the charts. This is not a fishing stream. It's an art stream, right? Keep it together. This is your resistance order block. This is your support order block. These are your reversion bands. These are your colored candles. Da-da-da-da-da. Pretty much, the cheat code has been sell at 200, buy at 120, right? Bam, 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 bam. For over 6 months, right? I'm not going to count the days. We once again bottomed out, hit back up here. Runabouts on. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on dailies. That's why we're not seeing that. And we started looking at a downward channel. And I spotted this, and I was like, it's pretty clean. It's a short move, but it's a channel that's forming all the way into the support order block of like the 120s. We damn near got there. We got to like 127, and then we broke through. We didn't really see a ton of volume, but so far we broke through. We started to kind of make a wedge. I'm not a wedge trader, dude, because I always hate getting faked out by whales, but we're pumping through, and we're at 164. And like I said, if Ethereum goes, Sol's going to go. So if Ethereum keeps going, your safe bet is this is going to hit the order block again and hit 120, or hit 200, which isn't a giant move from here. That's only like 16%. But if ETH is going to go to 4,000 and ETH breaks through 4,000, or at least gets to 4,000, you might see Ethereum go for the second TP level here of like 260-ish. And if our fingers are crossed and Ansom's right, we can start talking price discovery at like the end of the year. When I say price discovery, we want like all-time highs. Maybe 350, 400 plus. That's what we're looking at on Solana. I'm not a Sol bull. Those dudes in the Rainbow Discord force-fed you the perfect entries below $20 on Solana. Now it's over 200 and ranging, so chill out on that. But we're looking potential bullish continuation here, so it's gonna be really cool. But moving on. We gotta keep going. The timeline we're in, the White House is posting crypto memes. That is the actual White House Twitter. Man, they post a lot, as they should, I guess. But this was today. Come on, there it is. This went viral because I frankly thought it was a joke. But apparently it's not. And they're basically saying if you're panicking about the stock market, you're going to get hardest hit, and it's basically saying like, "Are you sidelined, idiot?" Which is crazy. Another thing to talk about the craziestness before we go into actual stock market, because I can guarantee you the White House isn't talking about Fartcoin right here or Bitcoin. They're talking about the S&P. And while we're printing all-time highs on the S&P, you have to realize the Federal Reserve has not cut rates yet. Just as crypto may get stupid, so will potentially the S&P. So we charted this, we traded this, we got a lot of exposure. Trying to remember where I DCA'd into these candles. I think I'm 52-ish. I got a good chunk of the 401k in there, and it's way up, obviously. But this was challenging because we knew we were in a capitulation moment, and we wrote off our wall saying our wall is here, but we're going to DCA into this bad boy as it goes in. We stuck to the plan, and now we're pumping back up. We're all-time highing again, which is awesome. S&P's on its way to 6,900, which is like the meme number. We'll see where it goes, but this is what the Panickin's message was about. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if or when the Federal Reserve has cut interest rates in all-time high printing on the S&P. Typically, 9 times out of 10, rate cuts tends to make the market risk on. So where does that lead us? Jerome Powell right now does not want to cut rates, and everyone's like, he's not cutting rates. We're not getting rate cuts. No. People are like, it's not coming, bro. Runner, they're not cutting rates. They are cutting rates, and I'll tell you why. Jerome Powell is going to leave the Federal Reserve May 15th, 2026. He'll still be a government employee or whatever, but his Federal Reserve chairman is up May 15th. So, as much as Trump hates Jerome Powell, talks shit to him, brings him in on meetings to tell him you're an idiot, you need to cut rates, inflation is zero. He tweets about it a few times a day. On this date here, right there, we get a rate cut. As you can tell, I'm using a mouse, not a stylus. And that's a far way, right? But that's not as far as you think it is. Trump's team will still be, Trump's team should still be in office. I'll say still. Maybe the government's not going to last that long. I don't know. But regardless, we're printing all-time highs, and we're going into a rate cut because Trump gets to replace him. He gets May 17th, new dude walks in. And that dude is going to be required to cut. Otherwise, Trump's not going to make a deal with him to give him the spot. So whoever is coming in here is going to cut rates, and God knows what the stock market's going to do. I don't know. And it's going to get interesting. So May 16th is what we're looking at. As far as crypto goes, we're getting kind of into the tail end of the bull market run. May of next year is outside of the traditional 4-year windows when you look at stock to flow, cycles, and all that other stuff. So just as I was preemptively telling you guys about how the markets in crypto can get uncomfortably crazy and then you're going to get comfortable, what we're potentially setting up for is crypto to go absolutely bonkers, peak out Q4-ish of this year, and then we should fade, as is tradition. Maybe we never fade and Bitcoin keeps going to infinity and they just keep destroying the dollar. I'm fine with either way. Maybe if Bitcoin keeps going up, I'm cool. I don't care. But if it fades out and then we fade into a stock market rotation where they risk off rates at all-time highs, we may line up the perfect scenario where we take profits out of Bitcoin, go back into TradeFi, and we retire and sit on those. So keep that in mind. That's potentially the play. We're taking a look at MicroStrategies. MicroStrategies is up only. It's going crazy. Sailor is... When you see Sailor on TV every day, that's probably a top signal. Looking at Coinbase. Coinbase is printing, I believe, all-time highs. Almost. Damn near. Well, no, it is. It is all-time highs. Shout out again. When in doubt, trust the reversion bands. Bam, 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 bam. I call that the yin to yang trade. That is about a 50% move on a Coinbase ticker. So shout out. How this goes, I don't know. Maybe we go parabolic into Q4 and all this stuff kind of dies off. Who knows? Remember, Coinbase is one that based the size of their company off the Doge run back in the day. And they had to do some serious cutbacks. So we got to chill and we got to watch out, right? Cybro on YouTube saying, look at Say. Yeah, Say's $33. 33 cents. $33 would be sick. But anyway, transitioning on. We looked at Coinbase. We looked at MicroStrategy. We looked at the S&P 500. Someone in let me go back. Someone in the Discord who was asking about rainbow trends. He's like, "Hey, does this stuff work out of the box on futures?" It does. We have it auto-tuned for it. But when you're looking at lower time frames like this, you're not going to see super volatility on the S&P. The S&P doesn't move a lot. So out of the box, that's what it's going to look like. And if you want to do some additional like tuning to make it, just come in here and start backing these down a little bit. You'll see, I actually went too far there. So we'll back them back up. And you can get these to the volatility you need and kind of tune them in. The guys who actually trade like 30-second ES futures that are rainbow theory traders, they have very tuned in settings on here and they lock them in and stay with them. But you can see a rotation here, red to orange to red to back, and it's about to flip green again. So you can do that, but you're just going to have to be really sensitive to this. So like if you look at Tesla, Tesla is very... I'm sorry. Wait. Oh, I spelled it wrong. I'll say, wait a minute. You can see Tesla's way more volatile, way more colors, right? But that's with like, you compare just to almost any stock compared to S&P is going to be really volatile. So anyway, moving on, Costco kids. I love this. It's the news article says 33% of Americans between 12 and 17 are pre-diabetic, according to the CDC. And they chose the Costco family photo. They didn't have to do that, but I just thought it was absolutely hilarious and gives me the perfect transition to talk Costco. Costco has been on a ridiculous run. It looks like the new Nvidia, right? It's been nuts. That's an 87% mode. Up only. Costco's amazing. My family loves that place. I like the hot dog. Who doesn't? But if you're going to look at Costco, these H4 runner bots, this is stock out of the tin. H4 runner bot top, RSI bottom, RSI top, RSI bottom, HMA cross, RSI printing. It's really good. Now, it's not a super volatile. It's more volatile than S&P, but you can see it's not touching these bands at all. It's just kind of grinding. Kind of reminds me of the O'Reilly one. But anyway, moving on. And I'm sorry, this was too damn funny not to share. But anyway, moving on. This is my quant. I listen to a lot of what Conk's research does. They're a really good, a good one to follow. But the Amazon, the early figures from Amazon Prime Day suggest spending is down 10 to 15% from last year. I repeat, we are already in a recession. I think these numbers actually came in and said the first day was like 40% lower than last year. But to be honest, if you go look at the deals, it's the same stuff, like a penny less, and they just say it's marked down like 60% from the all-time high or whatever. Which is crazy because last week it was like down 55%, so it doesn't matter. But let's check Amazon because we're apparently in a recession. Now, Amazon's much more volatile. But if you guys are patient enough, you buy the yellow and white candles on these reversion bands, it tends to pay off. You got to protect your butt because you're playing with fire, but you want to bounce on stock, you want volatility. From that bottom, 58%. From that bottom, so far, it's up 38. So it's kind of cool. So we're flipping between crypto stocks, Amazon, S&P 500, multiple time frames. You can actually see how this stuff trades, like with the indicators, and it actually works. But we're going into earnings. We're going into Q4. We'll see how it goes. Wow, I'm doing pretty good on time. Another thing, since we're talking Costco, we got to talk NVIDIA. They're not related at all. But NVIDIA has officially hit $4 trillion in market cap. So my favorite video card company from all time, All time. I've always loved them. I haven't had a AMD video card since like Windows XP. But it's absolutely crazy. They've hit 4 trillion. But to be honest, we've talked about this as well. As long as the AI stuff keeps crunching, NVIDIA is going to be producing the chips that power that revolution. So shout out to NVIDIA and their CEO. This is one of my favorite pictures. This guy used to work at was it Waffle? No, it was IHOP, not Waffle House. He's IHOP. And his cousin or sister, it's his sister or cousin's like the CEO of AMD. So tell me how that's not planned. But family photos here, cool, chill, whatever. But this is his office. Look at those damn Rolodexes. I haven't seen a Rolodex in probably 10 years, let alone when I did see Rolodexes 10, 15 years ago, they were not that big, and those bad boys are stocked full. I've never seen 2 Rolodexes in the same room together, and the NVIDIA CEO's got them. So if you want to be NVIDIA CEO, maybe you need to be the next one. Maybe you need 4 Rolodexes. And I'm gonna guess right now, a majority of the people in my in this stream have no idea what I'm talking about. When you get a business card from somebody, you store it in a Rolodex, and you can take notes, and it has little sections in it, so you can like label it and whatnot, or alphabetize it however you want. So think, why on earth would I not just do that in Outlook? I don't have a good answer for that. Anyway, another one. This is the NVIDIA chart. They're all-time highing again. Surprise, surprise. Grok 4 is eating a ton of NVIDIA cards. This is pumping, as is tradition. But just to prove your guys like points again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. You get these dips into these reversion bands on something you like and you're bullish on. That's the trade. Get long in the bottom when it's scary. Try to hit the home run and just try to at least touch the other side. Everything past that is gambling, but you can maybe turn into an investor. But if you get cash, this is where you start looking at entering and getting it going. NVIDIA is not going to randomly go 60, 70% down and hit the reversion band at this point on the machine learning. Like, I don't think that's a thing unless the CEO leaves or he gets killed or something. Like, you would need something really, really drastic. Even then, I don't think that would happen. But anyway, rumor alert, and I have no proof of this. I heard some whispers. I heard some whispers today at the coffee machine. I heard Microsoft and NVIDIA are talking about teaming up. And as you can tell, the charts actually kind of look the same. Earnings are up. Long story short, Microsoft, from all I can tell, is laying off a ton of people and replacing them with AI. That's why the market, it sucks, but this TradeFi market over the past few years, if you're laying people off, numbers go up because you're cutting costs. Come to find out, like, Microsoft invented the 4th state of matter, 5th state of matter, created a quantum computer from hell, and the price dropped like crazy. No one gave a shit. I thought it was insane. And then they're like, we're laying off people, and now numbers are going up. No one cares about the quantum chip, even though it sounds like they've got like the coolest quantum chip ever. But I digress. If NVIDIA and Microsoft team up, go figure. But like, look at those charts. They're really similar. We'll see. We'll see. Speaking of AI, let's check out Tesla. Yeah. So Tesla, we talked about this trade. We spoon-fed this one. This was a perfect 3 drive into the reversion bands. Went long, and it went way, 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 way up. And typical Tesla trade. You blow it out. You wait for the colors to rotate. You wait for the RSI to rotate. You wait for the runner bar, the HMA cross. You line up all your tools in Rainbow 3 to give you confluence. You get long, and you go for that home run, which is just to touch this band here. And they did, right? This was a hell of a trade. This is 61%. Bam, bam. That's a lot to deal with. Now, since then, Trump and Elon have gone their separate ways. Now, Trump, he made a bunch of accusations of Trump. Elon is also talking about forming a new party because he's upset about the budget and them killing the dollar. Maybe this will drive him to become a Bitcoin maxi. I don't know. But that's what this fallout was, right? And now I'm waiting. As much as I like that order block, and that seems to be what held here, with all this chaos, I mean, Trump was even saying, like, we'll look into deporting Elon. We'll look into it, right? I want to see this rev ban touched before I throw money back into this. I'm being very patient. With that being said, it's kind of wedging. We're starting to see that. So I don't know where this is going to wedge, but it may resolve pretty soon. Regardless, we got a the point I'm trying to say is we got a very, very clear rotation here with an entry. Nobody wanted to long this. We got long, excuse me. And then nobody wanted to sell this. We sold it. And literally, like, the runner bot top fired off like a day before everything went to shit with Twitter and Elon and Trump. Not that any of my bots read Twitter. It was a coincidence, but they saw technically that the trend was fading, and then they started arguing. So it was really like, hey, look, it actually worked, right? Anyway, moving on. We'll see. I don't want to trade Tesla yet. I'm waiting. I'm watching. But I am watching it heavily because they could get into a crazy ass Twitter beef and go whoop bam and V bounce off this, and I want to get long when that happens. I really, really do. But I haven't seen anything really like that. I don't like playing with anything related to Tesla unless it's inside a band. I need to be that far into the volatility, that outside of the bell curve before I'm willing to play. But anyway, moving on. Speaking of Trump, let me pause the music. This is nuts. And it actually sounds like it's going to happen next year. So check this out and listen.
Are going to have special events in honor of America 250, and I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have. Does anybody watch UFC? The great day in the world.
They're going to bring UFC.
We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little. We're not. Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events, some professional events, some amateur events. But the UFC fight's going to be a big deal, too.
25,000 people are going to be on the White House lawn watching a UFC octagon fight. At least that's what they're saying. I hope they pull that off, because that's just, welcome to the crazy timeline. I honestly think they'll do it, but I just can't imagine craziness. And my favorite fighter of all time, John Jones, man, he's retired. He can't possibly do this UFC fight. Guess who re-entered the drug screening program right after they announced that? So John Jones retired like a week or two ago and said, hey, that's it, I'm wrapping it up. They announced a White House fight, and our boy is back. He's back in the USADA pool, so he needs 6 months, I believe, is the current USADA terms, and Jones is eligible to fight. So we might actually see Jones versus Aspinall in the White House lawn fighting. I can't. Chat, let me know. Maybe there's been a boxing match at the White House. I can't think of anything ever going that crazy, but anyway, I've actually seen him fight live. It was pretty awesome. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up, guys. We're going to go to the Rainbow Trends Discord, and we're going to hang out. I'm going to turn the recorders off, and then we're going to go take questions, hang out, talk whatever you guys want the rest of the night. If we run out of charts to look at, we go talk Toyotas. But if you're curious about trying out any of our tools, you can become a client with Rainbow Trends today for $10 for your first month. Cancel anytime. But also check out our community. Come check out our Discord. That's where the OGs talk alpha all the time. And we've got one of the best Discords of all time. We survived the bear. We actually grew during the bear market. We got better at trading. And now the bull market's coming on. And you're seeing some absolute killers in there. So check us out there. If you want to see any of the tutorials and stuff on how any of this crazy stuff works, because I tend to talk really fast because I've only got about an hour to cover all this. Check us out on the website, or the Rainbow Trends YouTube. Make sure you click subscribe, because we're trying to get this bad boy up. We're getting close. We're actually at almost 500 videos. It's just crazy. But we've got all the videos here. You can check out the old streams. You can look at the tutorials, all the different stuff. But anyway, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for coming out, blowing up the chat. The likes and comments are heavily, heavily appreciated. And I'll see you in the Discord in probably like 2 minutes. See you then.